Coach Pat training questions. Check these out. Good afternoon, Trainiacs. This is it. This is the day that Coach Pat and I try to get into the open water. Straight up with you, I'm a little bit nervous because apparently the water that we're gonna be swimming in the river is pitch black. Like, you know when you go into fresh water and like you can barely just see, you're wagging your tail loudly, Pete, and you can barely just see your fingertips? Apparently you can't even see your bicep, like face in blackness. Now, I have the choice of two wetsuits. We've got the Hoob wetsuit, which I use for racing, but it's really, really tight in the shoulders so that you don't carry a lot of water and you go a little bit faster. And I've got the old Roka Maverick. This is the original one that put Roka on the map. Freaking awesome wetsuit. But it got tore apart in the armpits the last time that we did the open water swim because I was doing so much mileage in it. But it is so flexible in the shoulders that I'm gonna go with this. And if it gets more torn apart and more muddy and more gross, whatever, I've got my money's worth out of it. I'll bring some after swimming clothes because after, we're gonna have a sit down with Coach Pat. We're gonna ask all your questions from Monday's vlog that you put in the comments of that video. And then we're gonna have a debrief with Jacques and have a pizza party with the fam. Pizza's my favorite. Check these out. Yeah. Towel, because I'm gonna be disgusting. Finally, the last little bit of prep. It's not really prep, it's just last thing I've gotta grab. I'm gonna take the GoPro, and when we're swimming, I'm gonna tuck it into here, but I can take you all with us. If you're ever doing an open water swim and you're going for a long amount of time and you wanna bring nutrition, little trick for you, yeah. Just shove some gels in your sleeve or in your ankle. Low battery, we need more battery. It's so clean, check this out. That's about what we see. I'm good. Oh, I'm so graceful. Yep.
All right, I'm gonna run the whole list of questions with my hand.
Got the whole list of questions right here. Hi, welcome. First and foremost, for anyone who doesn't know, this is Coach Pat. What did you think of us swimming in the river? That cesspool.
You know, honestly, it was a lot like the lake. It made me feel like a regular summer swim, albeit a little bit colder.
It didn't have as distinct a taste as I was expecting.
Yeah. And I wasn't dirty taking my wetsuit off or anything like that, so yeah, it felt okay.
I was dirty around here. Like I was going like this at home and like, what is this? Like, oh yeah, Red River. All right, last week I promised that Coach Pat would answer your Coach Pat training questions, a lot of which you've already answered, but a lot of which everyone wouldn't have read.
Well, hopefully I give the same answers now that I put on YouTube.
A lot of questions for your recipes. I've built up your pancakes a lot. What is the biggest mistake a beginner triathlete makes when training for more than one race a year?
I think the biggest mistake a person can make is kind of too much too soon. And for every person that means something a little bit different, right? Whether it's someone picking up their run mileage too much or trying to race too frequently and not letting the body have adequate recovery. And you know, some people can get through, you know, maybe 3 or 4 races a year, no problem. And other people, you know, maybe 1 or 2 is their limit.
I don't think that that's what you answered on YouTube, so you are 0 for 1. What is your best sprint try time? And I'm not gonna look at what your answer was. I'm gonna guess. I can't think of seeing a sprint try time from you, but I would guess you're a 1:03. And what age did you start doing triathlon? I'm gonna guess, I think you were a late bloomer. 19? Am I close?
It's a youngster. I was 22. 1995 was my first season.
All right, I'm 0 for 1.
And as far as a sprint triathlon, I'm pretty sure I answered there, and I will answer it again, as I don't think I've ever done a sprint triathlon.
Really? What would you get? What would you be shooting for if you did one? What would you do? Like a
10 to 11 minutes probably out of the water, off the bike, 20K, be pretty close to 30 minutes.
Yeah, you'd be cracking that pretty close.
5K would be 17, 18. Add in a couple of minutes for transitions, so around that hour mark.
Fast, man. Do you want to explain a little bit about how you designed the swim program specifically for beginners that were getting into triathlon?
Usually when I take a look at swim workouts, I like to have them, or swim, bike, or run through fairly systematically, from the standpoint that there's an initial warm-up phase, and then you would progress on to some sort of more specific work, be it drill work or some builds or accelerations, something to prepare you for the next set of the day. And then, a big chunk of a main set, and then a warm down.
Hey, it's No Triathlon Kim.
Hi, guess what I did?
What?
I rode my bike here.
Oh!
Did you get past the
half Ironman soon? Somebody in the forum said they can't even, shh, keep it down, quiet on set. They can't even do 200 meters continuously. And I said, well, if that's the case, just focus on the drills, like the getting comfortable drills that we had in the videos.
Yeah. Learn to breathe. Take all the rest you need.
Yeah.
Slowly build things up.
Coach Pat, what do you think is the mistake triathletes make most once they're past their first 2 or 3 races and might start to think they know what they're doing? They start a YouTube channel and start telling people what they think. There.
I have no idea what I answered to that, if I even did, on the YouTube.
Yep.
What did I say? Did I say something intelligent?
No, you gotta find it.
I think.
Oh, you got a really good answer too.
Did I? Oh,
yeah.
Go read it on YouTube, because I have no idea what I said.
Ooh, excellent question. People have purchased a plan now, and they're 12 weeks out from their race, but it's a 15-week plan. How do they deal with that?
I would like to think that if they've just purchased a plan and the race is 12 weeks away, that they've already been doing something along the way. So the first 3 weeks of the sprint and the Olympic plan were set up as fairly general aerobic type fitness, like a lot of base work, just to get them moving. So if they were to take out that first 3 weeks and jump in sort of on week 4, where we start looking at, I think it's, we pick some strength first.
I think it's strength first.
Yeah. So you're taking a lot of aerobic fitness and just adding in some hill repeats or some rolling hills or some rides into the wind or resistance on a wind trainer or something like that. So starting to recruit some more muscle fibers, that type of idea.
That's good, because that's what I've been telling people. Do you think Taren will ever beat you in a triathlon race? I answered this, and I think that we are in sync. Nope.
You know what? It's going to be one of those never say nevers.
If he's sick, maybe. I keep threatening.
Leave me in the water, I'm out.
I keep threatening to throw a pile of dog fur in his face right before a race.
And that would do it, yeah.
Last thing, very common question. Where's the strength work?
From a coaching perspective, I really think that strength work is very important, very valuable, and it is a part of just about every plan I write for people when we're looking on a longer term basis.
Right.
We didn't include it in the beginner program simply because it was kind of like that 15 or 18 weeks to a race. And generally within that space, you want to dedicate your energy to doing well on the swim, well on the bike, well on the run. So when we include strength work, it's usually earlier in the season when you can give up a little bit on the swim, bike, and run. Just from the standpoint that recovery from strength is huge. It takes a lot of effort. So you kind of have to periodize that a little bit through the year.
I got that one right. One question that I had is, what was the philosophy that you were taking into creating those coaching plans before you started writing?
My thought was that let's keep this simple. And we just want to get people out there, get them through the races to start. And later on, if we're moving on to an intermediate program,
And learn their body too.
yeah.
Learn how to learn the sport.
The way it's written is everything is written by time, so
Yeah.
nobody's worried about distances. Could be indoors, outdoors, uphill, downhill.
Metric, imperial, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. And then in the pool, it's all written with time as rest intervals instead of
Right.
worrying about repeat times or something like that.
Pace interval. Yeah. The first time that I looked at it, I noticed how broadly applicable it was. That it wasn't so specific that depending on your pool or your indoor or your outdoor access or your climate or your fitness, it was flexible enough that I think from a philosophical standpoint, you could accomplish fitness and confidence in triathlon without having this plan that was so specific that it couldn't fit anyone. I liked it. It was impressive. I'm ready for pizza if you want.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Okay.
Nice to see you, Trainiacs. Have fun with the programs. If you have any more questions, by all means, send them along. I'll do my best to get to them.